you can work together and get some really good things done for your population that you serve. If you just have an open mind, you're willing to listen and have some respect for the people that you work with.
The Pocono Mountains is the birthplace to a Pocono wonderland of untold pleasure.
Winter in the Poconos, clear and crisp.
Called the land of the waterfall.
A recipe for romance.
Brian Smith, Chair of the Wayne County Commissioners. What is a county commissioner and why is it an important role in local government?
So that's a big question, right? And everybody wants to know what that is. And basically what a county commissioner is the chief elected official as 3 elected officials in the county that oversee the county budget. And it's really oversight and financial oversight of each department, and to make sure you develop a budget that's a responsible budget and then follow that budget every year so you don't get jammed up during the year with running out of money.
Because the county can't print money, state can't print money.
Yeah,
right. So you have to really manage it very closely. And what services you really oversee a lot of services for county residents, right?
Yeah, and so that's where your elected officials actually do become more of just an financial oversight, because as a leader of the county, people should try to look at electing people who can represent them, their needs, their financial struggles, their ways of life, because that bleeds into the decision making of a county commissioner when you're making decisions on what you do with different departments, what different programs you put into place, how those programs really affect the quality of life in the county. And a lot of people don't put together that the programs that we offer here at the county actually do protect our quality of life. We oversee the financials for courts and corrections. We have drug and alcohol. We have children and youth. Children and youth watches over the safety of children, and mental health, early intervention, again with children, behavioral health. So all of these services are in place to keep crime off the streets, keep drug off the streets, keep our quality of life, keep people safe. And it's really to protect your freedoms as an individual, because if you don't feel safe walking down the street or going to the supermarket or taking your family to the movies, your freedoms have been compromised.
So I think when a lot of people think of the Poconos, we did a series about agriculture in Wayne County last year, and a lot of people don't realize how important agriculture is to the county. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, agriculture, if you go back to the beginning of Wayne County, and it started, I guess, back in 1798, maybe was the birth of Wayne County from Northampton County, under the name of General Anthony Wayne. And, when Wayne County first started to get people coming to it, it wasn't even county yet. We're talking back in the 1700s. Part of Fort Delaware, the Cushatunk battlefield is out in Wayne County, up along the northern borders of Wayne County, along the Delaware River. And Skinners came in there and started logging. And they were some of the first people who came into Wayne County. And it got to the point where there was a lot of cleared ground. So what people did then is they transformed into animal agriculture, where they started milking cows. Humans have been able to grow numbers that are unbelievable compared to any other species because of agriculture and our ability to grow food and mass produce food, and we can feed our species. So that's what sets largely the human race apart from any other species on Earth. So, and then the evolution of agriculture got to the point where we had 1,700 dairy farms in Wayne County, and has now got to the point where the difficulty and the financial difficulty of running a farm, where we're down to about 30 dairy farms. So it's a big concern, and but it is part of our history. I think in the 1970s, FFA disappeared out of our schools. We now have FFA back in our schools again. I think it's important to teach kids about agriculture again, because we need that next generation getting on our farms and taking over and producing food. So that's a lot, I know. But
I remember someone said to me that because of building in Philadelphia, New York, almost the whole of Wayne and Pike County were denuded with trees. Yeah. So I never knew the second part of that story, that's how the dairy farms really rose from that.
The deforestation of our trees has resulted now in reforestation. I mean, through our planning department, we actually have, maps every so often that show that at one point in time it was completely deforested, but over the years, because of agriculture, because of best management practices, because of farms going out of business, the reforestation has got us back to where we have, once again, one of the greatest, renewable resources of all times, and that's wood.
Do you feel that agriculture will always be a big part of the economy here?
Yeah, so, agriculture is an ongoing effort here in Wayne County. I think that, we have an aging population of people who own the ground. One of the biggest obstacles we're going to have to overcome, and it's not just here, it's through the state of Pennsylvania and nationally, is the cost of land. And I like to relate that back to when my great-great-grandfathers came to the United States. They were given land. They had a land grant of 650 acres. But over time, the amount of people there are and the amount of available acreages they are, and that ratio has changed to where land isn't free. Land started to cost money. Land continues to cost more money. And, it's to a point now where if a young person wants to buy a farm, it's almost impossible. They need to have somebody working with them. There needs to be things put into place, leasing options. Yeah, and Bielecki's, he's a good friend of mine. He's actually growing fish now, doing trout, and takes them to farmers markets, So he's pretty innovative in himself, and it's a good model for young people to look at to be able to get into agriculture and acknowledge that maybe they don't need 300, 400, 500 acres. They can get into agriculture and be productive and be profitable on a much smaller piece of property and then grow from there.
So what's your background? Like, where did you go to school? You've always lived here, right?
Yeah, so my mom worked at Kotz's factory a little bit, and then she was a seamstress in Kotz's department store on Main Street. My dad worked at Moore Business Forums. He was a lift truck mechanic. I went to high school right here in Honesdale. When I got out of school, I couldn't wait to get out of here. I went to Penn State University over in Scranton, and I got a degree in electrical engineering technology. I had an opportunity right out of school to work on nuclear submarines down in Newport News, Virginia. So I went down there, and I was only there a year, and I actually, on a trip home, met the girl that I would eventually marry. And happy to come back home. But, that's something that I think is a great experience for anybody. Get out of your hometown. Learn a little bit about small town life, other places. And I began to recognize come back to Wayne County is probably your best option. I get a little emotional about it, but really it's one of the best places in the world to grow up, work, raise a family, and retire. So I can't say enough about this county.
Because it's a real hometown environment.
Yeah.
And you're safe here. Everybody's so friendly. The experiences are really great. It has a great history.
So, you're asking me a little bit about myself. So, after growing up here and coming back here, I worked at the hospital as a biomed technician for 7 years. But while I was doing that, I also started a dairy farm of my own. My wife and I bought a farm. We milked cows on that small farm for 5 years. I bought a bigger farm out in Damascus. Started to get a couple of school bus contracts. Never thought in my wildest dreams I would ever get into politics. But at a certain point in time, I had, 6 children, a dairy farm, 2 school bus contracts, was struggling financially, because I knew I had to send kids through college. We were making ends meet, but living hand to mouth, and listening to the struggles of the other farmers in the area. There was an election. I started looking at the other candidates that were running. I recognized that I could at least accurately represent the struggles of agriculture. I don't think every commissioner needs to be from agriculture or have that blue-collar background, which actually is the beauty of the county commissioners when you have a diverse group. They represent different issues, different concerns, different populations, and I think we have that. So I ran for election, and the first time I lost. by 100 and some votes. And after that, I did get elected. I ran again, and in 2008, I became a county commissioner. So I'm in my 17th year now as county commissioner, and still very much enjoy it and feel like it's I have a good application here. And relative to other areas, we have a great quality of life, and the outdoor recreation aspect of living in Wayne County is just second to none. So we're poised for some great things in the future, and I would always, as a county commissioner, rather be in charge of guiding growth than managing a loss.
Well, Brian, thanks for spending time with us. We learned a lot. And we were with Brian Smith. He's chair of the Wayne County Commissioners. He spent some time with us talking about the great things in Wayne County here in the Pocono Mountains. And I'm Chris Barrett for Pocono Perspectives. This can't happen without you. Thanks for watching.